Run.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome once again to On the Run from the beautiful sunny Manila. Nice sunny day out there, out the window. Had a nice flight up from Melbourne, very pleasant, and I've been in Manila now for 6 days and enjoying myself. So let's get into the news of the week. So on Friday last week, we reported that CBRE now estimates that Macau EBITDA will be down from 1.9 to 1.4 billion US dollars. And this is on, COVID zero concerns. Well, my only comment about that is, will it even be anything? I think things are looking very tough in Macau, and what we're seeing out of Beijing at the moment indicates that probably COVID zero is unfortunately here to stay, as much as I hate to say it. So that would be my comment on that one. Monday, we had as our lead story Cambodia, new guidelines out of Cambodia. This comes 2 years after the release of the new Cambodian gaming law. And Cambodia, Hun Sen, the Prime Minister of Cambodia, is wanting to crack down on illegal operations or illegal occurrences in Cambodia, particularly kidnapping, which is still on the crime. That's still a thing there. And apparently all of the casinos in Cambodia are going to have to apply for new licenses or apply to renew their existing licenses. So that will be very interesting. And it is good to see Cambodia slowly but surely cleaning up their act regulatory-wise. And best of luck to Ros Faroon over there. Tuesday's lead story was... Oh, yes, part 2 of my 2-part series on Genting in Macau, and an analysis of, would Genting be good for Macau, and what are the implications if Genting did come into Macau? And I guess that summarizes down into some advantages for Genting, which would be their storied history in maritime tourism and cruises, Genting Hong Kong aside. Their theme park experience, and perhaps also the fact that they're Malaysian Chinese, not Western. Disadvantages or concerns or implications would be the issue of reversion, which I've talked a lot about now. Labour concerns, obviously everybody that worked for the other concession that lost their concession, all their staff, gaming staff, would lose their jobs. And there's no guarantee that Genting would rehire them in the current environment. Can Genting finance a Genting Macau? Some question marks over that. The chilling effect that it would have on investment in Macau, for the investment community, probably would say, well, why would we invest in Macau when we can just be thrown out in this way? And I guess finally, question marks around Genting's ability to compete in a competitive environment, given that their sort of DNA and their history is in monopoly gaming. That was very well received, that 2-part series. It got over 10,000 page views. And if you want to read that, there'll be a link in the description below if you're on YouTube, and a link in the story if you're on our website. Wednesday's lead story was about the Philippines going to scrap the mask mandate. I'm in the Philippines at the moment, and we're still all wearing masks in public situations, but as soon as you get to a restaurant or somewhere where you eat or drink, the masks come off. And I think it's probably not too long at all before masks will be a thing of the past in the Philippines, and everybody will be kind of happy about that, because it's another step towards putting COVID behind us. On Thursday, our lead story was that there was one more COVID case in Macau after the outbreak on June the 18th, which is long over now. One solitary case, an imported case, and it's led to a red zone in Phi Chi K and emergency workers. The usual thing that we've seen in Macau so many times, men in bunny suits coming out to lock buildings down and all that over one case. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think it's an overreaction, and I would like to point out a very sad statistic that I'm aware of and that I will bring up is that excess suicides in Macau, that's excess suicides, that's suicides over and above the normal rate of suicides in Macau, and I hate to use the word normal and suicide together, but I think you understand what I mean, is currently running at about 1 per week. So that's 1 death per week, a totally sad and needless and disappointing death per week, more than the normal suicide rate. So just factoring, I'm not saying that the COVID zero leads to all those suicides, but there's a lot of depression in Macau at the moment. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of frustration and even hopelessness. And, if you are feeling helpless or you're feeling depressed, please talk to someone, anyone, someone you trust, because it's not that bad. And we can always, things always get better in the long run, even though you may not be able to see it right now. So that's a very sad statistic. And I hope that Macau recovers. I've got a lot of heart for Macau. I've lived there for 13 years and we hope that it comes back strong. Moving on, honorable mentions for the week. Stories that weren't the lead stories but are worthy of mentioning. Genting redeemed their Japanese yen denominated bonds, probably just an indication that any hope of anything in Japan for Genting is over. Staying in Japan, they declared online gambling illegal. Well, there was kind of an impression by some players that online gambling wasn't illegal if it was a pogo or something like that, if the servers were outside of Japan. But in fact, the Japan police and their consumer protection body over there put out ads in major media throughout Japan saying it is illegal and you can be arrested for playing online. There were calls in the Philippines from some business groups to shut down the pogo industry. I don't see that happening personally. I think that there's too much money involved and there's too much opportunity. And as President Duterte, now former President Duterte said, just too much positive economic influence in that industry. Of course, it does have issues. It does need to be cleaned up. But like any industry, that takes time. This week in gossip, you can see we're getting through the rundown here pretty quickly. This week in gossip, a lot of rumors in Macau this week. A lot of rumors about mergers, about Genting being asked to combine with another company, and that being the solution to the fact that there will only be 6 concessions, but there are 7 bidders. Some of that could be fanciful. Some of that could be potentially true. Let's see. But that's sort of the big rumor going around Macau at the moment. And of course, the discussions, everybody knows the discussions between the operators and the one potential operator and the government are ongoing, and they seem to be quite tough discussions. So let's see how all that plays out. We've got now just over 2 months until January 1. So we're going to have to hear something from the government pretty soon, I would say. Finally, just a few little things from IAG. We released a great little video in the week just gone from Aristocrat, made in Macau, about their efforts, their CSR efforts in Macau and their efforts to promote local workers in Macau. It's a great video, and we enjoyed making that with Aristocrat in a very different style to IAG normally. So the link will be below. And of course, have to say it, the Power 50 on November the 4th, in a week's time. I'm here in Manila already and really looking forward to it. And I hope to see you there if you can possibly make it. And don't forget the MGS Summit, which is online on November the 16th. That'll be a great day, and yours truly will be moderating one of the panels. So that's it from Manila for this week. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you have a great upcoming week is what I'm trying to say. And we will see you next time on the Run next Friday. And that will be the day of the Power 50. So see you then. Bye for now.
Run.